So a lot of people ask me if green walls, vertical gardens, destroy the existing wall. And this is one of the biggest misconceptions, and I'm going to explain to you why. The answer is that actually, if you do it the wrong way, yes, vertical gardens can destroy your wall. But there's a way you can completely avoid that. And I'm going to explain that today. See, first of all, I'm going to explain to you how to not to do it, okay? You might have seen a lot of buildings that have green walls, and what you have maybe seen, which looks very beautiful, is that sometimes people have planters like underneath the wall, and they put climbing plants growing on the facade, right? So when you have climbing plants, well, it takes a little bit time for them to grow on the facade, but you know they start from the bottom and they keep growing up with time. Now, what happens with climbing plants is that as they're climbing on the wall, let's say it's a concrete wall, which is one of the most common wall, is that they start grabbing into the concrete. And as they're grabbing into the concrete, slowly with time, they start shooting their roots into the concrete, which breaks up the concrete. And as you know, that concrete also has steel bar inside of it to reinforce it, to keep it strong. And when the plants open the concrete, then water starts getting into it, and then the steel starts rusting. And this will basically reduce the lifespan of the wall. So a concrete wall can, for example, last for 100 years, but if you add climbing walls, plants to it, then it can actually only last half of that, 50 years. Now, the way you want to avoid doing this is to build a ventilated facade, as we call it, between the vertical garden and the existing facade. So once again, you cannot just add the plants to the wall itself. This is a big mistake. Don't do this, okay? What you have to do is that you have to build another wall in front of your wall. So if we take a building and if we look at it in a section, that when you have an existing wall like this, if this is your concrete wall, then what you basically need to do is that you need to build another wall in front of it. And that's always the case what we do. We never, ever add the plants on the existing wall, okay? And then we have basically, this is our vertical garden where we have these pockets for the plants to grow on. And there is this ventilated gap like you can see here, right? So we have our plants here growing on the facade. And this gap, well, there is a connection, but it's not a continuous connection. So we have connections in between these, just so it can hang there. But it is an air gap. So what that means is that the air from below can travel through this air gap and then get out. So this is called a ventilated facade. And it actually has a lot of benefits for making the building more energy efficient. And it actually helps to make this wall last much longer. Okay, so then inside of this is one thing people are very worried about, is that we have irrigation. Obviously, we have to water the plants. So what we do is that we have irrigation pipes inside of the vertical garden. So every couple of meters, we put the irrigation pipe that irrigates the plants. And what happens is that this water goes down with gravity, and then here in the very bottom, we have gutter. So we have a gutter here that collects this water, right? So, and behind this vertical garden, in the very end of it, we have a layer of vapor barrier. So here, there's a layer of vapor barrier that doesn't allow the moisture of the garden in any way to get to touch the existing wall. Now, if any case, let's say it would get out from here, then what happens is that because this is a ventilated facade, this moisture would basically travel out from here and avoid this concrete wall to get any connection with the water. So basically, this vertical garden helps to protect the existing facade actually. Why? Because now the sun has no direct connection to the concrete wall. And we all know with time, sun breaks down facade. And the water as well. When there's heavy rains, this facade is now protected because the rain is absorbed by the vertical garden itself. So once again, if you do it properly, if you design it well, then actually a vertical garden, a green wall, can actually help the existing facade to last longer. But if you do it wrong, if you put the plants directly on the facade, then yes, that is a big mistake and you don't want to do that. So if you want to learn more about how to use green infrastructures like green walls into existing buildings or new development, then join our online academy where we have over 8 different modules and over 10 hours of videos where we go into the details and really break it down for you so you can learn how to implement a green infrastructure in the right way and avoid doing the common mistakes. So join us today and learn more.